there, and welcome to week 14, at least the Sunday and Monday edition. Let's talk about the NFL algorithm. This is just a bunch of formulas that I've written in Microsoft Excel over the last decade or so to predict football games. I take into account injuries, all the players playing in the game, season stats, all kinds of things to come up with projected scores. And I grab odds, and we end up with this. We end up with a sheet that I know looks like a lot of colors and names and stuff, but when you really go through it one record at a time, you can get a pretty good idea of what's going on in each game and how you want to play it. This thing works pretty well. I mean, you're never going to win them all, but you're certainly going to make more educated wagers and understand more about the game looking at this. So let's talk about the games. We are using this slicer here. This is a little slicer called, is this a good spread pick, basically? Meaning, do we think the team of reference, which is right here, is going to cover the spread, which is right here? We have actual point projections for each team in the game. It gives you a projected score. Sometimes it's really accurate. I hit it right on the nose sometimes. Other times it's way off, but it generally does pretty well because it kind of uses game flow to determine it and defenses and things like that. And injuries, obviously. So you have this first game here, which is the Packers against the Lions. And historically, we've been pretty good when it picks the Packers to cover the spread. It's 6 out of 10 times it's doing it. That's pretty good. Detroit is a really bad team. They do have a new coach, came off a win against Chicago last week. But if you're going to put money, you probably want to put money on the Packers -9. It's not a really top tier pick because this is 9 points. And we're only projecting them to win by 9, so it's really a tough call, but you can see the Packers probably laying it on if they can because Detroit really doesn't have a defense. I don't think they all of a sudden have a defense. So it's a tough game, but you probably would take the Packers minus the points if you're going to play that game. The Bears. We are terrible with the Bears this year. I think we're even worse than that. That number might not be right. I feel like we're worse than 46% on the spread with them. They're playing Houston, a team that's been playing better in the past few weeks. The win score percentage is quite low, which is based on season stats. The point projections are giving them a win, but the algorithm has been overestimating the Bears the whole season. I don't like what the algorithm has done with this team, so I think it's just a stay away game. I even like Houston to win this game. So even though this is in Chicago, because Chicago has just been terrible, come off the loss to Detroit last week. I really don't like taking Chicago there, but when I get into fights with the algorithm, I always say trust the algorithm. So it says take the Bears +2. Whatever. Steelers and the Bills. Here it's got the Steelers winning this by 9. You get 2 points with the Steelers. They're coming off a loss against the Redskins. They look sluggish the last few weeks. The Bills are going to be hungry, and they have some, they've got a quarterback that likes to run and throw. So, I mean, we've been good with the spread. I mean, you don't doubt Tomlin, you don't doubt the Steelers, so I understand why if you can get the Steelers +2, they've only lost one game this year. They have a good defense, which might stop Buffalo. I think an under in this game is an interesting play. The over-under on that game is, where are you, Buffalo? It is the Sunday night game. The over-under is like 48-ish. We have that putting up 49, don't we? Don't we? So, but the Steelers' offense has been a little muted lately, so I feel like an under is a decent play in that game. But it does take the Steelers +2. I'm not going to argue with that. The Ravens and the Browns. Big win score percentage for the Ravens. Thinks they're going to win this game by 8. You got to take them -2.5. Do they win it by a field goal or more? This game is in Cleveland. I don't know what the weather's like. That's another thing. I didn't add weather in here, and I really need to do that. But it's another layer of information that you got to gather that has to stay current, and it's just Anyway, I'll stop complaining. It says the Ravens. That's what it says. I don't know what to say about that, but that's what it says. We've been underestimating the Browns the whole year, though. So tough spread line, maybe just on the money line because it probably pull out a win here. I think so. Indianapolis and the Raiders. This really likes Indianapolis to win this game to cover. They have been decent against the spread. Raiders are a weird, iffy team. This game's in Las Vegas, but it says the Colts. Niners and the name redacteds. Picks a win for the Niners by a touchdown. I believe this. Even though they're an iffy team and you can never really predict them. The former Skins, find ways to lose games. I know they beat Pittsburgh last week, but that's a fluke. So I do like the Niners here, even minus, or probably the money line, just because, but they'll probably win that by a touchdown. I actually think algorithm's probably going to be good there. We've been bad with the Niners this year, though. Told you. So it says stay away from that. We've been much better with Washington. If you open up how do I open up every team? If you look at how we've been with Washington, by bringing this down, because that game shows up here, we've been 62% on the spread with Washington. Now, it doesn't say pick them because it's only 3, and we think they're going to lose by more, so there's some conflict there. It's tough. It's a really, really tough week. I was looking at the games, and it's just a tough week. Here, likes the Giants +3 against Arizona, which I think this has dropped to 2.5. Thinks they're going to win by a field goal. Thinks they're going to slow down Kyler Murray in that offense, but their win score is a tough game. I mean, you do like Giants +3. They're finding ways to cover, and look at how good we've been with them on the spread, right? Them and the Dolphins, which is another game I like, actually. I like this Dolphins +7 because their defense is pretty good. But so it says the Giants, but tough game. Jacksonville, Tennessee. We overestimate Jacksonville a little bit, but they're a fighting team. They fought last week against Minnesota. Tennessee -7.5 is tough. You get 7.5 with Jacksonville. It's more than a touchdown. That's why it likes it. This is the sneaky one. I like this pick. I think +7.5 is really good with them. Derrick Henry is going to probably run over their defense, but they're sneaky. They find ways to score, and I don't know. They've been inactive. This is in Jacksonville. So yeah, and here's another one. Bengals. We're good with the Bengals on the spread for the season. They're playing the Cowboys, a team with really no defense and just wishy-washy all over. Thinks that they win a higher scoring game. I haven't seen the Bengals put up those kind of points, but if they're going to do it, they might do it against Dallas's defense. So you got a money line option. You got +3 is the good pick. You take them +3 in case Dallas squeaks out a 1-point winner or something. Atlanta, we haven't been good with against the Chargers. I like the over in this game a lot. That's the play here. The over is pretty high. I think it's like 49. Atlanta's over is where? Let's see, let me go there. Atlanta. Sometimes you have to get out of the cells and then do it. No, really? Oh, how about Falcons? Do I not have them on this list? Oh, I gotta look in formulas. Sorry. When you're browsing through the odds list, sorry, you have to look in values. Boom, there they are. So 49-ish. It's up there. But we do think that they're going to get there. I mean, we think they're going to get 55 points, right? So that's the play I like in that game. Denver and Carolina, we've been good with Denver against the spread. That seems weird. I don't know if these are right. Tie game, you can get Denver +3.5, which is more than a field goal. That's why it probably likes Denver there, right? Carolina's been iffy and not great in the last few weeks. Minnesota, a team that's fighting against Brady, and the Bucs thinks the Bucs win this by 6 and the spread 7, so it's a really tough game. I don't want to have money on Minnesota. I see that, and they're probably going to easily cover. Well, it says that it's super close, so it's down there. This one I like, though. Dolphins, Chiefs. Here it's saying, yeah, the Chiefs do win by almost a touchdown. You get the Dolphins with it, but the odds that the Dolphins put up a fight in this game at home is greater, in my opinion. The wins, it's only -12%. Anything within -20 and +20 range on win score means it can go either way, even by season stats. So I say you take the 7 with Miami there. I like that. Eagles and Saints, tough game because the points you get. I don't want to go against the Saints because their defense is good. Philadelphia is a team that they're starting Hurts or whatever, right? They're starting a different guy because of the Wentz problem. They just start people whose last name ends in Z and play people Ertz, Wentz, and Hurts, right? Ertz, Wentz, and Hurts. Joke. Jets and Seahawks. You get 15.5. 15.5 with the Jets. Look at that. That means, will the Jets put up 23? Probably not. But if the Jets put up 21, Russell Wilson's got to go for 5 touchdowns, essentially. They get to 35. That is a tremendous amount of points. That's why it's a no contest of a 6-point whatever. So 7-point extra buffer you're getting with the Jets. That's why you're supposed to take it. So what do we like if you're going to do a round robin? You want to do the Jets, the Jags. Oh, terrible teams, right? Cincinnati, Miami. These ones, you get a ton of points here, and they got a sneaky way of, I mean, you want to see some interesting fact, all right? So these are the four I like in a 4-team round robin. And then if you want to go with more favorites, you want Indianapolis. It says take the Giants, right? Gets there. That's a tough one, though. Can't do that. It says take the Steelers because you get 2. And the Packers. So here's your favorite one where your odds are worse. So if you take them with the spread, which you would do, you got to do that with Green Bay. It's a tougher one to win, but those two mixtures are pretty good. Now here's what I want to show that's pretty cool here, which is if you look at historically all weeks, let's go weeks. You can use this slicer right here. My head was there. And we're going to look at all weeks. Don't work at week 1 because it's not right. Okay, week 1 through 13, and we're going to filter this by, they're all picks we would have picked, and when the spread was positive, okay? So value filters greater than when a spread was greater than 0. Now you get just positive spreads here. I want to see what the record is on the spread on this. I bet you it's phenomenal. It's 57-44. I mean, it's 56. And there's some teams that I would say you never play. Like, you don't ever want to do this with Chicago. You don't ever want to do this with Dallas. You don't ever want to do this with Detroit. You don't ever want to do this with... I'm scared to even do Minnesota. That gets you to 54-35, which makes a lot more sense, right? Don't pay attention to that because that's not applicable. But this is what you're getting when you're looking at those positive points. So, I mean, what does that mean? Every 8 you're going like 5.5 and 3.5, 6 and 4-ish, right? 60%. So what that's saying is if we back all the way out, we go back to our week 14, and you see these games that these two are positive, right? And then let's open everybody up again. Let's see what the best. This is why I built the algorithm so I don't make decisions. But we know that in the middle of the pack stuff here in this list of descending usually is the good way to go. So that means you stay away from Green Bay because they're -9. The Steelers are getting 2, so you take it. The Jags I like because you're getting 7.5, and Tennessee has a way of not covering when they are laying points or whatever. Cincinnati because it's Dallas. They hurt you last week, but you get 3 here. I think it might be down to 2.5. But Dallas stinks, so it's worth a shot. And then Miami, right? The Jets, because that's crazy 15.5. There's 5 of them there. Okay? That's what I would do in a 5-team round robin, is all those on the spread. You're getting points with every single one of those teams. Right? So you're getting it with Cincinnati, Jacksonville, the Jets, Pittsburgh, and Miami. Where are we? 13 minutes in? Yeah. This is what I would go with as a 5-team round robin. What I mean by a round robin is you can throw those and get all the 2-team, 3-team, 4-team, and 5-team parlays for all of these on the spread. And that's like when there's 5 of them, I think it's 26 bets. So at different places, sometimes they have a $5 minimum bet at certain places. So that bet costs you like $120, $130 or something like that. But that thing will pay, if you hit all 5, that thing will pay like, they're all at like -110. That will probably pay, the $130 bet will pay in the over $1,000. It'll probably be like $1,300 or $1,400, something like that. Maybe a little less, maybe about $1,000 maybe. And then you got the options of doing other things. So that's the way I do it with like $100 is to have fun with it that way, because you watch those games and this thing's predictive one week and you catch all five, you've paid for the whole season. So anyway, if you want to subscribe to the NFL algorithm, you can follow the link in the description. And good luck, everybody. May all of our picks be winning.